Hi, it's Vicky from Vicky's Handcrafted Designs. Today I'm going to crochet the first square in my series. What kind of crochet is that? I'm doing a blanket of about 36 squares showcasing different types of crochet, such as just your normal traditional crochet. There's Tunisian crochet, there's lace crochet, filet crochet. There's all different types that use different techniques to gain an effect. So today is the most basic, which is just traditional crochet, which involves just a normal crochet hook, which you can pick up at any craft store. I like to use these ones with the plastic handle. This has got a harder plastic handle, but you can get ones with a softer one. I find it just much easier to grip because it's got the part to put your thumb in, rather than just the metal ones are very thin and very hard to crochet with. I'm using this really soft bamboo yarn. It's from Oz Yarns. So I'm using this because I'm doing a baby blanket, so I want something nice and soft. Bamboo's a mixture of bamboo and cotton, so 70% bamboo and 30% cotton. So it's just very breathable. It's great in winter or summer, and it's just nice and soft. So traditional crochet just involves just a series of chains and stitches with your hook, and interlacing them together, you'll come up with a square. So the first thing we're going to do with when you start any type of crochet is you have to start with your chain. So each square is going to be roughly about 12 centimeters long. So I'm using a 4mm hook with this type of yarn, mainly because it's easier to do the stitches. It does recommend to use a 2mm, but I found that's very small. So the first thing you want to do is get your yarn and the short end, put it underneath, and the long end on top. And then the way I do my slip knot is I put my crochet hook in, and I pull it through, and I pull it tight, and that's my slip knot. There's different ways of doing slip knots, so if I get a chance I'll do a video just to show you. And then the way you do a chain is you hold your hook like this, you wrap it around the yarn, and you pull it through, and that's one chain. And then wrap it around again and pull it through. That's two, and again that's three. So I will be doing 35 chains. Now as you do your chains, keep a hold of it pretty tight, otherwise you're going to end up with all different sized chains. So that's 25. It's 30. So the reason I'm doing 35 is because I need to crochet into the second chain from the hook. So it's roughly about 12 centimeters there. So I'm going to do what's called a single crochet in US terms, or a double crochet in UK terms, and I like to use US terms. To me it's just much more simple, easier to understand. but you can use UK terms if that's easier for you. So what I'm going to do is take my hook and put it in the second chain. So that's the first chain from the hook, that's the second chain. So you take your hook and you put it in, and it's very tricky because it's very thin yarn, and you pull it through, and then you yarn over, and that's your first single crochet or double crochet in UK terms. So you do that all along. Using this yarn sometimes is very tricky because it's very soft. So if you're just beginning, I recommend you use an acrylic yarn, which is a bit more thicker and a lot easier for you to see the stitches. So again, we put it in the chain. Like that, so it comes out the other end like that. Pull it through, we yarn over, and we pull it through. Again, in the chain, like that, we yarn over, pull it through and pull it through. See if I can get a closer look so you can see. So now we have our stitches there. So 1, 2, 3 stitches so far. So then you would just go along the chain putting the hook in, pulling it through, and then you would have all along. So I'll catch you up in the end as I do all the chains, and then I'll show you how to do the second row.